and welcome to the podcast, So Casted. I'm your host, Tara Lockett. Today's topic, new beginnings every day. But before we get into that, I must let you know to remember mental health awareness. If you are walking around humans, then we must stay aware and be each other's light as we walk throughout the day, showing that kindness to help each other get through the day, because sometimes the thoughts on the mind can be pretty heavy, but it is up to us to help one another to get through that. Our wisdom dot today is brought to you by Tara, and I quote, "New beginnings mean you have passed a level of life and you are preparing for the next level of life." Now remember, this is a constant evolve. If you're battling and you are healing from trauma and all those pains in the heart, as we as So Casted, we are healing our mind, we are freeing our heart, and we are activating change, because that is what's needed to help the future generations to come. Now, there are three things that I want to talk to you about in regards to new beginnings every single day, because each day is a new choice, and that's what we're going to get into. But remember, our life is a constant evolve. And with that being a constant evolve, we have to take accountability in the three things that we talked about in the introduction episode, which is the awakening, the unchained, and the liberator. So in life, we're going to be at those three stages. But today, new beginnings, every day, each day is a new choice. The first thing I want to talk about is that each day being a new choice. Now, there are 9 blood drop gifts that I talked about a few episodes back, and we must use those 9 gifts to make a personal choice to walk in every day. I personally, now I'm not gonna lie, I personally have been trying to do that. Love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. Those are really good tools, but they're gifts given to us. So let's not reject the gifts, but let's put those gifts in operation. And each day is a choice that we personally have. The second thing when it comes to new beginning each day is we start to heal our past. Sometimes when for me, let me just use myself as an example. When I first began all this process, I did look at it as a really huge elephant to take care of, but each day is that step moving forward to your purpose. Each day is finding something that's weak that you can strengthen, because the command of all for all humans, whether you accept that command or not, from the highest king of all, and that is to love God with your mind, your heart, and your soul. And then it's also to be strong and courageous, not to be afraid nor discouraged. So when you think about those words, being afraid and discouraged, then you realize how important it is that we must not be afraid and we must not be discouraged, but we must be courageous. Now, after we start that process of healing, each day we get to heal our past. And that's where the 3 T's that I talk about, our truth, our trust, and our treasure, well, that's where we get to look back in those hard times when we don't see a way out and we think, oh, this can't be it. Well, you get the opportunity, at least for me, I'm speaking from my own example, is looking back on the treasures, those moments when it just seemed like it was all over. And then you get that treasure, that strength, that courage to keep moving forward. Because this year's theme is don't quit. So we cannot quit, but we must continue to move forward. And when we continue to move forward, then we move into that strengthening for a new level of constant evolve. Remember, the first thing is acceptance. After we have that acceptance of the truth, then we have a willingness. Without that willingness, there is no evolve. Think about it. When the flower is blooming out of the dirt, and it's interesting if you haven't seen this, to catch that opportunity to see the lift, the leaf the leaf come up, and the dirt is just barely sitting on top of it, but it just poked through and the dirt is just leaning on the side of it. Like, it refused to give up, and it said, I'm going to evolve, dirt on me or not. Here I am, world. And that's what we have to do when we have to understand what new beginnings each day looks like for us. Each day, we all have a new choice to make. Each day is a choice. We start by healing that past and be proud of that. Be a PCB and make sure you're SLL, to stop, look, and listen. And then you have the love, living on value and ethics. But when we do that, we get the opportunity to be stronger for that new level that's coming. So cast it, because your mind matters and is the vision of the future. Imagine great.